So, if Mawla means a friend, then why the congratulations? So, does it mean that Ali was the enemy of all believing men and women before that time? So that Omar said that this morning you became friend of all of them? And there are many, many companions of the Holy Prophet who even used in their poems the word Mawla in connection with Ghadir Khum in the sense of master. Even Imam Ali wrote to Al-Muawiyah and said, the Messenger of Allah granted to me his authority over you on the day of Ghadir Khum. It means that one of the evidences based on which even Imam Ali himself proved his authority over the Muslims was to refer to the event of Ghadir. Even countless scholars of the Quran, Arabic grammar, and literature have interpreted the word Mawla as awla, which means having a greater claim or authority. And I myself have got the names of these scholars here. But let us examine what meaning can be understood or inferred from the context of this hadith. One question, for example, in every language, English, Persian, Arabic, French, and so on, if a word has more than one meaning, how can we understand what the word means in a certain sentence? How? We need the context. We should consider the context in which that word is used. Like spring, for example, spring, which is a polysemic word, which has more than one meaning. A multi-meaning word, right? So in order to understand which meaning is intended or meant by the word spring when it is used in a specific sentence, we should consider the words used with it. The words around a word is called context. So the word Mawla is not an exception to this general rule, as is the case with Mawla. So there are scores of associations or contexts in this hadith, in the hadith of Ghadir, which clearly show that the only meaning fitting the occasion can be master. For example, before the Prophet said, Man kuntu mawla, faza aliyun mawla, said, Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum? Do I not have a greater authority on you? The people there said, yes, surely. And then the Prophet said, whoever whose master I am, Ali is his master. So, there will be no doubt that the word Mawla in this declaration has the same meaning as having a greater authority upon you. Just it had the same meaning as the preceding question as asked by the Prophet has. At least 64 Sunni traditionists have quoted that preceding question. Among them are Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Ibn Majah, An-Nasa'i, and At-Tirmizi. Second, the following prayer which the Prophet uttered just after his declaration can be another association or reason. اللهم ظالم من والا و عاد من عادا وانصر من نصره واخذل من خذله. Third, the Prophet said that I will leave you soon, and I will be soon called away by God, and I will answer his call. So as the Prophet said that I am on the point of dying. So before his death, he wanted to appoint his own successor. How is it possible for the Prophet to leave the Muslim community without declaring a person as his own successor? The congratulations itself is one of the other evidences. And most important of all is the occasion, place, and time. The day on which the Prophet delivered his sermon was a very hot day. A very hot day. About 100,000 travelers sat or stood under the burning sun of the Arabian desert. And they sat in a thorny place on the burning sand in order to listen to the Prophet. Is it wise to deliver a long sermon just for declaring the friendship of Ali? Or was it because of declaring a very important point? And even the poem of Hassan ibn Thabit. Even the word Mawla is used in the Quran anyway. But there is a hadith from one of the Imams who said, Buni al-Islam ala khams. Islam is based on 5 things. Ala salat wa zakat. Salat, the ritual prayer. Zakat, the tax. Was-sawm, fasting. Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. Wal-wilaya, and wilaya, the guardianship and authority. وَمَا نُودِيَ بِشَيْءٍ مِثْلَ مَا نُودِيَ بِالْوِلَايَةِ. Nothing was called. Nothing is more important than wilaya. So the other question which I want to refer to is, what is really meant by wilaya? When we say the wilaya of the Imams, wilaya is mainly divided into 2 kinds. Al-wilayatu takviniyya wal-wilayatu tashri'iyya. All the Shia Imams possess wilaya, which in English can be translated as authority. But wilaya can be subdivided. Wila'u ziyama, the villa of leadership. All the Aimma or all the 12 Shia Imams, in fact, possess political and social leadership. This is one of the dimensions of al-wilaya. Ziyama, wilayatul imamah. The Imams are also the religious authorities, the highest religious authorities. They are authorities in the divine law, in the Quran, and so on. And wilayul mahabba, there is a ayah in the Quran, la as'aluka alayhim ajran illa al-mawaddata fil ghurba.